So I just got a new bookshelf. It was technically in the last video, you just couldn't see it. If I actually had $10 million to answer any big question, I would definitely need to think about it a little bit more than I have for this, but hey, here we go. My initial response to this question, of course, was something about climate change, but this isn't $10 million to spend on physical things, this is $10 million to spend on research. Unless I'm looking at something like nuclear fission or some more sustainable energy forms, there's not really a whole ton of unanswered questions that I'd be interested in looking at in that field. Plus, $10 million isn't all that much in the grand scheme of things, so my next response was different diseases that hadn't found cures, like cancer or Alzheimer's. Those are the two big things I would want to find cures for. Cancer, because it kills so many people at such high percentages of diagnosis, and Alzheimer's because it affects people and their families in such big ways. However, I'm not sure how much help I would be for this for two reasons. One, I would basically just be sitting back and delegating work that I don't understand. I know very little about these diseases right now, so I definitely wouldn't be able to help very much. And two, again, there's so much money that's already being thrown into these two diseases specifically. $10 million would really just be a drop in the ocean, especially for cancer research. So then I started thinking about something I'd be more inclined towards, something I'd be able to understand a little bit better. I thought that helping out for the mission to Mars would be useful and also really interesting to me. After all, NASA gets such a small percentage of the federal government's money, they could definitely use $10 million more, right? What's that? NASA's annual budget is $20 billion? Whoops. It's difficult to put into context the entire amount of money that is being put into these big projects. $10 million does sound like a lot, and I'm sure that it would be very helpful to those fields and people would appreciate it a lot. I'm sure that it would probably be used in a lot of cool ways, but it's almost definitely not going to be the $10 million that gets us to Mars or the $10 million that cures cancer. It may just be the $10 million that decorates the interior of the Mars lander. And it's still important stuff that needs to be done, but it's not nearly as satisfying. We can talk very easily about curing cancer and going to Mars without actually knowing all the details. So it makes it really easy when someone asks you what you want to do to just talk about the big things that you've heard about and that you've talked about. But it's more complicated than that, of course. Having thought very little about this, my current answer is that I would probably like to do something with AI generated music. This is something that I've cared about for a while. You guys may remember that I did my capstone on AI generated music. It wasn't a great capstone, but if I could try again with a team of researchers and $10 million, I'd give it a go. It's something I would deeply care about, it's something I know I could help with, and it's something that I'd love to see be done. I think that there could be a cool program that creates beats offhand that you can like just run through until you find one that you like, or something that could like create harmonies to a line you wrote. I mean, it's all really like small dumb things that I can think about right now, but with more time to think about it, I'm sure that I could come up with something that I would be more interested in, and then you can make more money off of the product and create like a business out of it or something. Should I just give the money to NASA? I should probably just give the money to NASA. Look at my books, they're so pretty.